Hi, this is Mark. In this video, I'm going to explain why people with autism, whether depending on where you reside on the spectrum, why they're so resistant to change in general. And it has to do a lot with the receptivity or the sensitivity to stimuli. So normally, in a typical scenario, think of like the eye. Typically, our range of perception is going to be conical. So just like the shape of the eye, there's feedback that's entering from within a range. So if you take like a circle, 360 degrees, the range of perception is a subset of the whole circle. So basically we're collecting bits of information within this region, and this is stimuli. So on a typical scale, this could be this could be any type of stimuli. So this is how would I put it? This is so it's sensory input. And it's also, could represent like body or even emotions. And typically, I've noticed like individuals with autism, they tend to have doesn't imply that they lack empathy. They tend to have more effective empathy, meaning they can read the intensity of emotions. It acts as another sensory inputs, and the reason for this is because they need to do this to compensate for their lack of ability to intuitively pick up on signals. So typically there is a how would I put it? If we drew like a function, we're going to represent this as social intuition. Social intuition, and then right here is stimuli. So this is quantity. So quantity. Essentially, stimuli due to social interaction. So when someone has social intuition, they don't have to really put much processing. It's instantaneous. It's something that, so generally social intuition, when it's high, the stimuli floors to a limit. It floors to essentially zero. So there's an inverse. So relationship, when social intuition is high, therefore, you're lowering the range of, like, let's say that if this is like a lower limits, so if this is limits minimum, and of course there is a maximum capacity. Let's just say this is like an upper bound for someone, and then beyond this is basically, this would be overbearing, sensory shutdown. So this is why there exists some limit where someone with autism has a sensory shutdown. And what that essentially does, and the reason for this, of course, is because they have to add the extra processing. They have to add, so processing could be due to any, so in like a neural case, neurotypical. So if we take a set, so this is like even though neurotypicals, this doesn't really exist, really. Actually, in my view, this is just a reference point. This is reference to what we deem the norm. Let's just suppose, there's inputs. So then we're going to go to a, autistic. So basically, it's going to be, there's going to be a input, but like there's going to be a subset. Like, let's just say there's this small subset. social processing. And then there's going to be a much larger subset. This is social processing. So essentially, due to this reaction, essentially, we can create a. So we know that there is a. So let's just say number of inputs. So this is based on processing. These are inputs. This is a set of all inputs that are derived from the external world. And so this is external. And then this is, so we're going to create a, so basically this, how will we put this? Because there exists some limits where an individual with autism would have sensory shutdown. Actually, let's just do, how would I put this? I think I essentially put this in the wrong direction. I'm trying to think. This should be number of inputs. And we're going to represent this case by time. So basically, let's just say, given a scenario, so neurotypical they may go something like this. And therefore there's like this is a limit 1, and then this is going to be limit 2. This is autistic case. Okay, so this is the autistic, and this is neurotypical case. And so this differentiation right here has to do with social processing, the deviance in social processing. So now we got to think, why would someone with autism be resistant to change? Well, change, we know that change creates more processing. Routine or predictability limits stress. It limits stress because processing is dampened over time. So essentially what this means is, like, with the routine, the extra processing, like the deviance, it's going to be dampened, and it's not going to cause as much stress, and therefore not going to cause as many sensory shutdowns. So the real reason is people with autism have a big problem with this. It's they don't know how to intuitively pick up on these signals, so they have to add extra analytical processing, or they're going to be more sensitive to picking up the emotions, and that's just extra inputs, and that just creates havoc, and that's why they can freeze up in situations and all this. And it's very hard to understand on a superficial level, but this is kind of what's happening, and it creates an internal reaction, that fight or flight response. So this is just an illustration of why this occurs. This is all I have right now. I'm kind of just generating this on the fly. Hope it was made sense, and hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.